So last week we saw a bear signal. We still need the band to flip red, but that's probably going to happen soon. But yeah, it was just like a very bearish close.
Yeah, and
And so I
it's
think
our first indication of the flip here is that bear print without the red flip, but we are already 47% in profit. So it's a great way for us to start being like, this is a good place to take profit. So
exactly, and scale out.
yeah,
So it's all about scaling in and scaling out. That's what you do with trading. And yeah, and so I think, I mean, it's natural for something that's run up so much to cool off, and I think
yeah,
that's what Apple is going to do. It's going to we'll just have to see how low it goes before finding support. And once we get the bull signal again, then it's like, you know,
time to
time to go
scale back
long
in. Yep,
again.
exactly.
It's as simple as that. So like, and I think, and so also, uh, uh, they had the earnings call last week, which didn't help.
Didn't help too much. There's also, it wasn't a terrible earnings call, but some of the analysts are taking the information from the earnings call, which was, the phone sales were, I think, 2% above projections, but general sale revenue is down around 1%. Not like a end of days type earnings call that should, justify a huge market trend flip, but rather the first indication to analysts that the revenue income for Apple is slowing down, and the projection of those analysts is that in the upcoming earnings calls for the next earnings calls, they expect that revenue decline to continue. And so part of that expectation is helping to drive this price action a little bit more bearish and kind of, start to cool off this run. But of course, if we look at, Apple had made new all-time highs this past few weeks. So
right.
When that happens, when that happens and you see it pump beyond the previous peak, you should be expecting a bit of a cool off. And here you can actually, this is actually really nice. So here's the daily chart where we got our initial print. So we're being, getting our early warnings here to start scaling out. And then here we can see on the weekly chart, that weekly close there is pretty bearish. And then you can see
that's bearish, and it's just going to cool off and maybe like retest one of these supports.
Exactly. So and if we can bounce on that green band on the weekly chart, then absolutely the weekly trend is still very much bullish. But what we're looking at here was the daily chart.
172 around there.
Yeah. And then so meaning on the daily chart and in the shorter time frames here. So in this coming week, we are expecting a bit of a sell-off. So the move that we are participating in and that we're sharing within our Discord is to scale out, to take some of these profits from this run up off the table and then look for a new entry price at a better spot. We're not actually advocating short selling Apple because that's we don't hate money, and Apple is one of the big tech blue chips.
I mean, it's long-term bullish, but like, again, you can short sell on the short term.
That's true.
And basically because I mean, you just play the trend. So you because we have had really good profit going long and just like 47%. So you could like short sell a little bit and then wait for the trend to flip. And then once we get a bull signal again, close your short and just long again.